Good evening. This is the May 16th meeting of the Vernon Selectboard. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any additions to the agenda? I would like to recommend or suggest a change, since the fire department is well represented here this evening, and we have a pretty intense executive session going to be happening, I think, in a few minutes, that we move the fire department capital plan committee brush truck replacement up on the agenda before the executive session for Great River Hydro.
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, Mr.
Aye.
Lee?
Aye.
Mr. Picasso, Ms. Carter?
Aye.
Chair is aye. Any, chair has no remarks. Any public comment for non-agenda items? Okay. Highway Department quarterly report. Hello, sir.
Evening. Everything's been going good down there. Right now, I'm just shooting for the bottom line of the budget, because we've gone over in some things and other things, trying to save, so. But other than that, and Shane's been taking some training, so,
Okay.
classes, so he's getting there.
Good. Good.
And
Everything's scheduled, all right?
so far,
All right.
subject to change.
Yes, we know.
Okay, when's Tyler Hill scheduled for?
June, subject to change. If some company didn't break equipment.
Right, well, working when they got it back.
So, anything else?
No, I have nothing.
That was your
Ready.
drive down Route 30.
Okay. Town administrator.
Let's see. I applied for a PACIF grant to purchase new adjustable ergonomically correct office chairs for all the departments, as most of them are more than a decade old. On Tuesday, the 9th at 10:30, I met with Peter Gaskell from Triple T and David Allen from Casella regarding the changeover. So the operations will continue unchanged. The only change will be the name on the trucks and the billing, and that when somebody calls, it will go to the Casella call center in Rutland. Our contract should remain the same until it expires, and I guess their staffing there will remain the same as well. So it was a really nice meeting. Wyndham Region Commission held a webinar May 10th regarding the regional plan updates. I made copies for everyone of the presentation for your convenience. Cheshire Glass came out yesterday to give an updated quote on the town hall safety and security items that I'd like to see taken care of: the town clerk service window and replacing the treasurer's door, the double door, with a single door and a service window and a mail slot. So I should have that for the next meeting. I composed an RFP for the maintenance of the 2 fire ponds. It's been emailed to the town attorney for review. Tomorrow I'll be meeting with the road commissioner and the representative from the State Department of Natural Resources to get the approval to move forward with the maintenance before I send the RFP out. I'm meeting with a contractor tomorrow morning to obtain an estimate on removing the old cabinets in the kitchen and replacing the cabinets, the countertop, and the sink, as well as installing new cabinets in the Elmhurst room. So this gentleman's a contractor locally, so I'll have 2
I have
quotes.
a question,
All
if I
said and
could.
done. Sure.
Did we, I remember that the seniors were in early on when we were talking about the ARPA money, and they were asking if there would be consideration of redoing the whole kitchen. I not opposed to this, this is fine what you're doing, but I don't know if we've made a determination on those ARPA requests, on what we're gonna do with them. So my point, I don't wanna be spending money if we're gonna do the other thing, or if we're not gonna do the other thing, then it makes sense to do what's happening.
Didn't we vote last meeting to go ahead and get quotes?
To go ahead and get quotes,
Yes.
yeah.
All right.
Didn't-
I've got Home Depot who can come and put
All right,
everything
so
in
that-
very quickly. But a contractor, this is gonna wait probably at least until fall, maybe next spring, before they can get it
All right, so we
scheduled.
got time to decide on
Plenty of
the
time,
other
just-
stuff. Okay.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
Oh, yeah, no worries. I have an outdoor recreation master plan meeting scheduled tomorrow at 1:15. The next public meeting is gonna be scheduled for May 30th at 6 PM and will be held at the school. This Thursday, I'll be out of the office. I'll be attending the Vermont Council on Rural Development 2023 Spring Conference, and the topic's going to be recreation for economic vitality. And so they're going to be discussing a lot of the projects that surrounding towns have already completed, and I know a lot of towns are really focusing on recreation this year, so it's going to be an all-day event, and my daughter will be home from the Marines next week, and I'll be taking next Thursday off, so that's all I have.
Good, thank you. Okay, so moving down to the brush truck replacement discussion. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, Chief.
I'll introduce the committee. So I got Assistant Chief Bristol, Firefighter Wielden, and Captain Franklin, and then Chris LaFlamme from the advisory committee was also in on with sitting down and helping us spec out our needs for a truck. So I think you guys all have a copy of the spreadsheet and the narrative. So I'll turn it over to them to answer any questions that you guys might have for them. And
Oh, I think the obvious question is where's the money coming from, the difference between the 80 and the 65, that's in the capital.
Right, and then if you go to the bottom of this, the vehicle with uplift, budget requested amount is 26,000, so I'm a little confused. Are you looking for 26,000, or you're looking for the difference between the 65 and the 80?
that would be the difference between the 65 and the 80.
Okay.
Yep. So the upfitting, that spreadsheet was just, that was breaking down a little bit more of the components of it.
Yeah, it was just the way I read it, so I wasn't sure. So where's the 15 gonna come from?
We were, I guess my assumption or my thought is that was a perfect use for the ARPA money. That was given as a buffer to towns for inflation and for, costs associated with the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. And I think it's pretty clear in here that, since this started, when we were kind of, when the pandemic hit, from then until now, the cost difference, I think, in the trucks is like 13,000 or something like that.
16,000.
16,000.
16,000 difference for the same vehicle from then to now.
And we had kind of, things were a little slow to get going with getting this replacement going. I think it was last year, the year before it was due for replacement. Obviously, we've been working with a lot of different facets with regrouping the department, but we're beyond that. But just also the impacts of vehicles and stuff, it was kind of the hopes that maybe prices would subside a little bit. They've at least stabilized, but I haven't really seen anything come down at this point, so.
No, I wouldn't car shop in this one.
No.
I'll be fixing it.
What's
And
the
also-
value of the current brush truck? I mean, I know you could make an argument for
Yeah.
a few different values there, but
I've heard start the bids out at 10,000. But I don't, it's a 74, it has low miles. It could be very desirable to the right person, but it has to be marketed correctly. And it could sell for $1, or it could sell for, I don't know, 10, 15,000. I don't.
We have had a lot of people look at it and say they were very interested in it, and they would pay up to $10,000, so,
Nice thing is if they actually afford the money.
it would be a good starting point if you put a minimum reserve on it of 10,000 to even start, something like that. But there has been a lot of interest in it. It only has, I think, 7,400 miles on it, so.
Skunk at the garden party question. You had put in some ideas for the ARPA money when we talked about it, when it first came in and we were looking for ideas. This wasn't on those ideas. Worthy project, don't misunderstand me. But is there a pay-go that can be done with that?
I believe it was on the, when we requested for the gear
Okay.
and the washer, I think on the bottom of that, I think in the last paragraph, we said we were working on the brush truck, but we didn't have a number at that time. But
Right.
we were anticipating that difference may come from the ARPA funding. I think that's when it was presented to
Okay, no, I
the
didn't.
board.
All right,
I had brought copies of all
Yeah.
this stuff at one point.
you did. There we go. Well, what's the turnaround time on delivery?
If we have to order, depending on which way we go, if we have to order, it could be up to 8 weeks.
That's not bad.
It could be.
But it could be more. That's,
Could be more.
when a dealer tells you 8 weeks, it's usually 14.
16.
I'm not gonna say that, but that's the number we were given.
Yeah, all right.
So,
Thank you for indulging the questions. Members, anything?
Definitely needed. The other one's very old and we wanna do a big recreation outdoor plan. Well, what happens if the outdoor catches on fire?
And the thing is with the newer truck, everybody in the department will be able to drive it. The truck we have now is a 4-speed, and
standard.
your younger group of people don't even know how to drive a standard.
That should be part of the, you want to be a firefighter in Vernon, you gotta drive a standard.
That
So
clutch-
last standard in the department.
Privilege to drive it.
It is, indeed. Wow, okay.
And it's carbureted, so most people don't know to pump it twice before you turn it. So.
Yeah, or carry a can of ether if you want to. Yeah. Gene, anything?
Look,
You got the money, right?
Yeah.
And hopefully we don't have to use much depending on what that other truck goes for.
Yeah, it'll net out,
Which is
yeah,
good.
yeah. It's going to a different account, but it'll net out.
So, did you have a preferred vehicle that you were looking at?
Yeah, we're preferring the Ford. We know it's a little higher than what the Dodge is, but that is the committee's preference as far as ground clearance, lock and rear differential. Just comes standard with dual batteries. We wouldn't have to add, if you look in the cost where it says to add in dual
Yeah.
batteries. It comes standard with that. It comes standard with upfitter switches, where in the others we have to add it. And it's proven in the industry Ford is. So that would be our recommendation.
The auto mall, there's not a model there, but that's probably.
That's a
It was
GMC.
a GMC.
See,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
stuff's just gotten so expensive.
I mean, we even took things that we've got to help try to offset the cost. The tank we already have, the
Yeah.
pump and stuff. Yeah,
Oh,
we-
I'm not questioning, I'm not questioning the
No,
department at all, it's just, stuff's just out
Oh,
of control.
absolutely.
We've looked at a bunch of different things and it all comes about the same cost.
So, Tom, catch me up on the ARPA money pre me being on the board. You mentioned that's not how we were gonna
Well,
dish it out.
this actually, I wanna stand corrected with these gentlemen, because it was included in the original
Okay.
ask. There just wasn't a number attached to it at that time. This fits, but my point is, taking this out of the equation, it's just people coming in wanting to use ARPA money when we haven't really decided what we're gonna use ARPA money for yet. We've decided some of the things, but this certainly falls in the realm of what we should be doing, I think. That's my, other people may have different opinions, but. That sound about right, Gene?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I know he had to, Michael had
I know, I
to step
know,
out, but I would entertain a motion. To, let's try this, because we don't know the exact number yet. Something maybe authorize the purchase of the vehicle in up to $25,000 of ARPA money, to offset the difference between what's in the capital and any sale of the 1974 doesn't go, it goes back to the, I don't know what they call it here, the general fund. It would be taken in as a receipt. It doesn't go to the fire department.
Goes back to the capital,
the
goes back to the capital
I
fund.
think it
Yep.
should go back to the ARPA fund.
Fine, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're kind of borrowing it from there.
Yeah, all right, so
It's
it-
done.
In any, yeah, so up to 25,000, and any offset from the sale of the vehicle or a lesser price of the truck from that, would go back to offset ARPA fund, the ARPA funds utilized. Something like that. Town administrator.
So this may not really be the firm number
I
that
think
they gave you.
it's a real
It's a,
close number.
It's a hard number within,
within a
I'm
few
gonna
thousand.
say 1,000 or 2,000.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
just
so
waiting
it's
for,
pretty close.
the only thing we're really waiting on is a cost for lighting of it. He hasn't got back to us. We
Okay.
have a rough number that he originally gave us, but he hasn't given us hard numbers yet.
Yeah,
And the other number is the flatbed body with the price of steel fluctuating. They wouldn't give us a hard number on it, but it's not gonna be terribly different. It's gonna go up or down just a little bit
yeah,
for the cost of the body, but they wouldn't lock in on it until we actually call them because of the price of steel going up and down.
yeah.
Tom, if I may, and just, I guess a couple things too is just, we broke out the extended warranty as an option, whether or not the town would like to move in that direction. And then, just to clarify too, so with the Ford vehicle, that, it looks like our estimate on that one is 83,260.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one is 8394, so I think our capital
it's
is
65.
65, so I mean, 25 is great, but we don't need more than we need, so.
Yeah, well, I was just given in case something went haywire and you
Yep.
needed to do something, or you wanted to put a backhoe on it or something.
To help out the Route 30 project.
It doesn't mean that, like, the 25,000 is coming out right now. It means it's
Right.
there to pay those
Yeah,
Okay.
costs.
Yeah. And what we have for accessories and upfitting, that's what we're doing.
yeah, that should
So,
cover the lights,
Yep.
that should cover the lights too, I would think. So that's the motion, right?
Do you,
It's a long one, but.
do you?
You want me to synthesize it? Or you want to synthesize
Sure,
it?
I don't know, I can give it a stab here. I move that we approve, the fire department to purchase the F-350 truck for a brush truck, using $65,000 from the capital plan and $25,000 of ARPA money as needed, to complete the truck, with the sale of the old truck money going back into the ARPA fund.
Second.
Sounds right.
Gentlemen, is that satisfactory?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, Mr. Root,
Aye.
Mr. Bakassi,
Aye.
Ms. Carr,
Aye.
Mr. Guarino, aye.
Thank
You get that rolling.
Thank you very much.
Alright.
Okay, we need to enter into an executive session.
I move that we enter into executive session for negotiating or securing real estate purchase or lease options, 1 VSA 312A2 with the town administrator, the listers, and there are a couple of people on here. Yes?
Yes, you'd go to legal counsel and you're a contract assessor.
Yes.
Yes,
Second.
any discussion? Seeing none. Mr. Root,
Aye.
Mr. Bakassi,
Aye.
Ms.
Aye.
Carr, and Mr. Guarino, yes. So we will be in an executive session for a while. Okay, we were in executive session as it related to Green River Hydro. No action was discussed there, and no action will be taken outside of the executive session this evening. So, we get on to our regular business, minutes of the prior meeting.
And we thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you
Thanks for
for coming in. Nancy Durbro's last name is spelled wrong, and
I think it's because of the way she wrote it, it was hard for me.
yeah,
I'll ask Tim.
D-U-R-B, yeah,
I'll
it's,
ask
I
Tim to
know, I
correct it.
struggle with it, but
I think that's how she.
otherwise it looked,
Okay.
they looked okay to me, just to correct that spelling.
Okay.
So I move that we accept the minutes of the regular select board meeting on Tuesday, May 2nd, with the correction of spelling the last name.
Okay, a second? Any discussion? None. Mr. Bukowski,
Aye.
Mr. Root,
Aye.
Ms. Carr,
Aye.
and I will abstain. I was not at the meeting.
Oh, boy, I slipped that one.
Warrants.
Warrants, alrighty. I move that we approve payment of the following warrant. 22T accounts payable, $1,703,082, which includes the third installment of the school tax. 18S payroll, $8,989.97. 19S payroll, $8,310.26.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Root,
Aye.
Mr. Bukowski,
Aye.
Ms. Carr,
Yes.
and I. Grand list filing extension, we have a letter.
Not too soon.
Yeah, there's the.
Yeah,
This is the one to sign.
sign. Yeah.
I I move that we sign the extension of time for the filing of the 2023 grand list.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Mr.
Just curious, why? What's this,
Is that everything we just talked about?
because of, okay,
I think they don't have all the numbers
Yeah,
to submit a grand list.
okay.
Mr. Root,
Aye.
Mr. Bukowski,
Aye.
Ms. Carr,
Aye.
and I. Which one are we, you have the original?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Mr. Tillman,
Okay, huh?
did you second that, Jean?
Yes,
Okay.
sure.
Close enough.
If I could ask in the future, that when I need to sign something, that my name Thomas be on it, and not Tom?
Oh, that came from
Yeah,
Carol.
yeah,
I didn't notice
just a
it.
request, it's not a big deal.
Oh, I'm very mindful of that.
And I cannot find a pen that wants to,
I love this one.
yeah. I'll get a
Bring your
tricolor
pens
T
down.
here.
It also says Jeffrey Dunkley.
Yeah, what do I do there?
Do you want me
Okay.
to cross out Jeff's name?
Hometown Heroes banner.
You know, I can white it out and type it on the
Okay.
typewriter. I can make that correction manually.
What?
The wrong name.
It's Jeff
Oh.
Dunkley.
Oh, it's okay.
No, not
Oh,
you.
Dunkley.
Jeff Dunkley.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Whoops.
I'll fix that.
You the same colors, I guess.
Wish that was a big check we were writing to somebody, and then we had to get him to sign it, that's all. Thank you. Okay, Hometown Heroes banner program.
Okay. So this was an email received from Sandra. It was a suggestion from somebody in New York. Is it somebody in New York?
Well, no.
You're looking at the
it's-
Who's
resident.
a resident?
Oh, he's a
He's a
resident,
resident
okay.
of
Sutton,
Vernon.
or-
So I see, okay, so I see that
Um,
it was taken, that it was, New York was participating in it.
I would like to table and have more time to read into it,
Yep.
if possible.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at the website, and you have to have somebody take responsibility to get all the information, because
Yeah.
it's not,
We have a
Much there.
veterans, we have a small committee, but there's a veterans group in Vernon too.
yeah, I mean, you really, like, they want all that, and, yeah, and it's not glaring information on the website other than pictures.
Yeah.
Let's do
Is there
that.
anything with like the cost and stuff on the website?
No, see, that's, I kept clicking everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's why it's like, you gotta make a commitment to start getting the information.
Yeah, I would like to table till the next meeting if we could, so I could look into it more.
Sure.
Or somebody could look into it more to find out pricing.
I will see what I can do.
Okay. Parade permit application.
Okay.
Alrighty.
And they gave us a map and everything, so it's good.
It's, seems to be the same route that they've
Yeah.
been doing, right?
I move that we approve the parade application with the caveat that they make sure they contact the state police since they're touching 142.
Yeah.
Second.
Any other discussion? Okay, Mr. Root.
Aye.
Mr. Bukowski.
Aye.
Ms. Carr,
Aye.
and I.
So who's supposed to sign this?
Oh, is it just one signature?
Yeah, you have to check approved or denied.
Then I'll make my motion that the town administrator can sign, if everybody's okay with that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright.
There you go.
Walks.
Alright. So I typed up something. I did talk to Dick's Lock Repair to try to get an estimate on those keypad locks. And it doesn't look good. The keypad locks that are out there are like $300 or $400 a piece, and those are for the inner ones. Outside ones are about $500 a piece, and they're only warranted for 1 year. And he has been replacing them for people who wanted those. They do have other versions where it's wireless, but it's very expensive, so it cost to be around $75,000, because we'd have to have an electrician come in and put in hubs in the building, and those are, I think he said $2,500 a door.
Yeah, we're good for now.
So
They're a pain in the neck, I know, but
they
we're good
are,
for now.
yeah, so, but he said that he could put in a durable restricted key system where you can't make copies. And we could sign out the keys like we did before. We have some of the tumblers that
Well,
we
it's
can
not said like we
utilize.
did before, because it wasn't good before.
Yeah, don't,
Well, we also have security cameras in place.
No, I
now.
know, I'm saying it's not saying like before though, because before it was not good.
We'll signing out the key. However, I did make the suggestion, just like going to a campground, that people leave a deposit. If they're
Yeah.
gonna take the key, they'll return it very quickly and they won't lose it as easily. Even if it's a small deposit.
Or take their license or something while they're using it or something. No, you know,
Yeah, I mean, something to think about. I mean, we don't have to make a decision.
yeah.
You know, it's just food for thought.
So in the past, so you're talking about a regular
Just a regular key.
kind of key?
Yes.
Regular like that key.
Mm-hmm.
So in the past, what happened was anybody that was gonna use the building had to like get in, see the town clerk to pick up a key. Is that the kind of system that you, whoa,
Either that.
you're not gonna like that?
You know what I was also thinking was, what if we had one for each committee and board?
that's too many keys out.
Well, I mean,
Now we're
we
starting
don't
to
have
go
that many
where we
that
were
meet that
before.
frequently. I mean, we have people who meet infrequently, and
Yeah.
those would be the ones who'd have to sign out. I'm
E-
thinking
Yeah, but even
planning and conservation primarily.
all honorable people, I don't mean, but the less keys you have out, the better off you are.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was thinking, if we just had just a couple extra. That would be a little bit more convenient.
Yep. Well, that's assuming we're changing the locks, right?
Yeah, this is because the fire department had such a difficult time getting in. And they have the Knox box. We can install that, however, we still run into the issue of not knowing if it's gonna be a dead battery in that key, and then having to try to replace that before you can even get into the building. And that is my concern. That's not, it's
How
It's
long
a
do those batteries
liability.
tend to last?
Well, in the
If you're
cold,
using it.
a few months in the cold, maybe. I'm constantly changing the vault key.
I mean, I've
Batteries.
left mine in my
Oh.
car, I've replaced the battery once, and I've been on the select board 3 years now.
But that
If you
key
use it
vault-
more, if
The
you use
key
it,
vault won't, they only last maybe 3 months.
Yeah.
just because of more use?
More exposed to the cold.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say every several months I have to do mine.
Yeah, I think we
But
average.
You
I'm
use
doing
yours
like
a lot
at
more
least
than I
3
do,
doors,
obviously.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking, like I said, mine sits in my car
In the cold.
in the cold outside, and it never, I replaced the battery once.
I don't know that.
Maybe I got a lucky key.
Maybe.
And I didn't even need to change the battery, I just did because I think you gave us one. They're here, so I did it.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm changing the key vault batteries every 3 months when it's
That's why
cold.
it's been,
Well, it's because they got that
Better.
that battery's, whatever that light is inside of it probably uses some of the battery, takes it.
yeah.
I don't know, I've left my key in my vehicle once and it was dead the next day.
Huh.
Yeah, this
I haven't
blinks
had
all
any
the
trouble.
time.
It was
It's
pretty
always
cold
Well,
out.
so we don't use them very often either compared to you guys. You guys
Right.
use yours daily, so
Yes.
it's used a lot more, which that's what's killing the battery, the use.
That could be, yeah. But I know the cold too. I mean, even though they're used infrequently, the ones in the vault with that cold.
Right, they're not used very much.
No, and that's my concern. They're not very reliable due to the battery.
Mm.
I know there's a fire issue here, but I think this should be part of the regular budgetary process. And I can be certainly persuaded otherwise, but we keep in the middle of the year with things
I can
keep
say
coming
the
up.
town is not gonna wanna hear about changing the locks in this building at a town meeting again, probably.
So we do it here and.
I know, I don't have an answer for it, I'm just
Yeah.
saying,
No, you know, you've had those keys, what, 6, 7 years now?
2000, was it 2017, 18?
Probably around there.
So about 5 years, maybe 6?
So the biggest issue is the fire department issue, with getting in, and that's what we're
Yeah,
trying to solve.
that's huge,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's the second time that they've tried to get in, they had issues.
time before they couldn't even get in the building at all.
But if you had to get in the building,
Like, you'd be paying for new doors and new
yeah, you'd
locks.
be paying for door, right, but.
You'd be paying more than $2,700.
So,
Well, no, my brain is,
Yeah,
So those are a couple of expensive doors they'd be taking down.
yeah, right, and that would be insurable, okay, but,
Yes.
I guess my question is it, you never know when a fire's gonna hit, I understand all of those things that go with the discussion. That this couldn't go through the normal budget cycle?
or is it easier, is it easier to keep track of batteries in one key versus a whole sign-out key system? If we're worried about this fire department key,
Yeah,
See, I see that from past experience, somebody would, an employee or whatever would quit, whatever, and we would never see the key again.
the actual key.
Yeah.
Yes.
Another option
Then
is
the
give
key
the fire
locks had to
department
get
a key and they
changed.
maintain it with, they maintain all the stuff they already have.
this way you can just
Well,
knock
that's what
them
I'm
out.
wondering, does the,
Whereas
And
this, you just
fine with
change
that.
the program.
can
It's
we
just-
give the
That
fire
would get
department a
us
key for them
by
to
for
keep in a
now.
warm
Right.
spot and
Safely.
demo
Well,
it?
that's
Right, exactly.
Because we do truck checks once a month where they can change the batteries.
Well, I
check
don't know
the
why you
keys.
guys weren't given a key directly in the
Never
beginning.
Thought of it until just now.
Yeah, that
I don't
was-
know why
So
it
that,
wasn't,
I know, when you were talking about the weather,
should have been done
Yeah,
with.
should have
my
been
thought
Knox
was you
box.
should have a
Helps.
key at the station. Or
Yeah,
you,
It was because they put this special box and it was
Yeah.
supposed to be a Knox box,
Right.
basically. But, yeah, even if they kept one at the station where it's warm and
Mm-hmm,
like, so
has
they have the batteries
all
there.
the permissions on it.
right.
The only question I have there is if there's a call out, does everybody go to the station before they're dispatched to wherever the fire?
It depends who you are. If you're an officer, you're allowed to, if it's a fire, everybody's supposed to go to the station first.
Okay.
Except for the officer, who's the chief, who usually
Right.
goes straight to the scene.
Okay, so I just had visions of,
No one bringing the key.
well, yeah, somebody coming in from Brattleboro from work, work.
So like the Knox box keys, every officer has one and every vehicle has one.
Yeah,
Where if you had 2 keys, one for the rescue vehicle, one for engine 1, you'd be covered for anything happening here.
yeah,
But the rescue vehicle's probably not needing a key at nighttime because nobody's probably in the building, so it probably just needs to be the engine. But
I mean, do we just talk to,
I think,
Alex, just talk to the chief and, decide how he wants to take care of?
yeah, and
his
I
key?
understand the keys are problematic, okay, I do. I work with them, they're a pain in the neck sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when we're looking at a couple of thousand or a few $1,000s, and it's at the end of in the middle of the fiscal year, it wasn't on the ARPA list.
No, but I had brought it to the board last July.
You did bring it, and we said, hold on it. And I'd like to put it through the regular budget process. That's how I'd like to see it handled. And work with the chief on what's gonna work for the department down there to have one of these beasts,
Mm-hmm.
or 2 of the beasts,
Yeah.
around.
yeah, at this point, that's
makes
still
more
cheaper
sense.
than replacing everything, is to give
Exactly.
you guys copies
it
for all
keeps
your
the building
trucks.
safe. We're doing
Yeah.
our job protecting the building
Mm-hmm,
as a
Right.
select board at that point.
right.
Now, I'm not opposed to looking at locks again, now it's 6, 7 years hence, but
Mm-hmm.
I'd like it to come through the regular budget process, that's all.
If
Okay.
we're gonna do it, we need to be well informed, I think, and we're gonna bring it to town meeting, because like I said, I'm young and I've heard the key change thing happen at town meeting multiple times already in my lifetime, so
I wasn't aware of that.
Well,
When this key system came, it was a headache at the town meeting because people were like, you guys just changed the locks.
Wow, yeah,
So-
because this showed up in the capital plan.
Yep.
2 years of capital plan to get the money for those, so that's where the discussion
Hmm.
came in.
Okay.
It's the little tiny stupid things is what people care about.
Well,
I noticed that.
you can understand the $500 item,
Certain
a
things are
$2 million
sticking points.
school budget or a $12 million school budget, it's hard to get your hands around.
Yeah.
You know, it's
I
hard.
guess.
Okay, so we're done with that. We have, our next regular meeting will be on June 6th.
We have an executive.
We're
I
already
understand.
executive. Okay.
If there's no other business, we could go into an executive session and adjourn thereafter, right?
Then we have to publicly adjourn.
Yes.
Right.
Just check.
All right, so let's go into an executive session for,
I move that we enter executive session to appoint or employment of evaluation of a public officer or employee, 1 VSA 313 3A3 with the town administrator.
second?
Second.
Aye.
Okay, yes, Mr. Root says aye, Mr. Bukowski.
Aye.
Mr. Carr, and there we go, okay. Is there a motion on the floor from executive session?
Yes, I move that we approve hiring Glenn LaSure as our new custodian in the town office building.
Second.
Excellent. Any discussion?
Aye.
Mr. Root, Mr. Bukowski, Ms.
Aye.
Carr, and I.
I didn't say how much.
Any other business to become before this august body this evening?
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
It was non-debatable. Mr. Root,
Aye.
Mr. Bukowski.
Aye.
Ms. Carr, aye.